the failure of Concord is almost revolutionary, right? Because I don't think there's really an aspect of the game that anyone really likes. Like, okay, it functions. Congratulations. It achieved the bare minimum to be a video game. But literally every other aspect it either stole or they did their best to make it as unappealing as humanly possible. And one of those situations were in the character design. Now, everyone understands, why Overwatch was a good game outside of the gameplay. And it's odd that we have to play pretend, play make believe, and act like, oh, fantasy equals reality. So because you like hot characters in games, somehow that translate at all into reality. Because adults don't think like that. I mean, adults with the mindset of children that only gets their education through the academia and nothing else. They don't care what their parents say. Like, only they think this way. But again, people who play games and actually have to work for a living don't think that. So here's someone who's going to redesign some of the characters to actually look somewhat appealing. Let's give it a watch.
Hey everyone, this is Critical Art 64, and today I'm going to redesign some characters from the mega flop Concord, a game with character design so dull and unappealing that the game died within a week. This game seems to have followed the Cartman school of design.
Put a ticket in, make a name and gay!
And I think I could do a better job.
And you see, making that isn't in and of itself isn't like, hey, there's no like, how do you make lesbians unattractive? Well, you go with what Star Wars has done. Star Wars the Acolyte. You go with what Concord has done. You go with what Duskborn has done. You make them gay. Then you make them as unattractive, unappealing, and I'd say childish, but it's supposed to be an immature game, at least in the case of, was it Dustborn? So you want, adults to play the game. So why put literally every aspect of the game that doesn't make it appealing to adults whatsoever?
So what I'll do is break down the designs a little bit, explain my concept sketches, and show what a render of my design would look like in 3D animation. I decided to start off with the three most visible characters, Baz, Amari, and Daw. Looks like I have my work cut out for me. This cast looks like a bad Guardians of the Galaxy cosplay, like if they were in a movie called Monitors of the Solar System. First up is Baz.
That's right.
Who sort of looks like if Thugnificent from the Boondocks had an aunt who hunts Blackulas, or if Whoopi Goldberg played Morpheus in The Matrix. If you think she looks kind of mannish, that is not a mistake. It is because she is in fact based on a transvestite singer. You can go ahead and look that up. And her weapon.
And I'm one of the few people that actually looked that shit up. Why? I don't know. But okay, you made them look. They did everything in their power to desexualize, make her look. And I don't want porn, right? I don't want porn in a game like this. I want even just an attractive woman, right? Or I guess this is supposed to be a trans person. Goddamn, you can make them attractive too, even though I don't fucking roll that way. But they did everything in their power not to do that. And, games journalists will never point out how fucking ugly and unappealing the characters look. And the fact that this is just, they point out that this is an Overwatch ripoff, but I guess they don't care.
And is knives. So she throws knives and does like flippy doos. Nothing about her design suggests that. It's very bulky. She's wearing shoes that look like boots designed to play basketball in. Not very good for running. And the small glasses and the big hair are very unflattering to the face. It doesn't do anything to help the man face. If to ladies out there, if your face looks like this, you'll want to have a hairdo that frames the face a little bit better, and you might want to wear bigger glasses to kind of make things look smaller in relation. Like, here's my concept sketch. Now, this is actually one of the better designs in Concord. So I kept most of the ideas. First, I cropped her coat. Because she has such big shoulder pads, and when you exaggerate something, you kind of want to take away from somewhere else to create a sense of balance. It also makes her look less cumbersome, and I made her shoes more like running shoes to show that she is a much more agile character and that she would use blades. And I would have it to where like her gloves can like charge the blades with like kinetic energy, so she could just shoot them like ballistic knives. I feminized the face and made her design more sleek.
Yeah,
to make
made her look like the type of women you'd see in reality, and not, I guess, the type of women you'd see in some sort of gender study. So like a fraction of what women look like. I've seen plenty of African American women that look like this, plenty of black women that look like this. Like, it's not exactly like it, but they don't have the man face, because it's odd, because those ideological groups of people, they have their own stereotypes. The odd thing is they try to impose their stereotypes, right? Like, and I find this weird, right? Because if you actually go into reality, talk to people, like, if, say, for a racist, if their stereotypes of people are challenged, they won't, or challenged, like, they won't challenge it. They'll be like, oh, well, I guess that's just not that type of person, and then they move on. But no, if you talk to, I guess, the type of individuals that defend Concord, the type of individuals that come after you, the consumer, if you talk to those types of individuals and they find out that their stereotypes have been challenged, they'll absolutely go schizophrenic and be like, and they think just through sheer angst they can change it back to their own vision of reality, but it doesn't work that way. Like, this is a perfect design.
More obvious that she's an acrobatic knife thrower. I imagine her being like a sassy bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Here's the before and after.
And notice how that he made her hot. Like, despite whatever the fuck this is supposed to be, like, I don't know if he kept the whole trans idea in this, but, I mean, it passed for me. I don't know. Like, this looks like a shovelware game design, right? The type of games that are thrown on Steam that is probably like some sort of project and just Unity assets for college that they just shove up for $1 or $2 and pray they get like 3 or 4 downloads. Right? That's what this looks like. This looks like genuine AAA style art, like the type of art that, you'd see in World of Warcraft, or like in Blizzard with, like, what Blizzard used to be with Overwatch, and you see that people want this, people don't want this, but this is being imposed. This is being completely erased.
I don't know about you guys. I know which one I would pick.
Yeah.
So that's one down. Next up is Amari, and she sort of looks like if the guy who made Hamilton made a stage play about the Ninja Turtles and casted Lizzo, or if the Juggernaut is the red M&M, she's the green one, and with her voice, some have called her Fat Alberta.
I got you.
Hey, it's Fat Albert.
Here's my concept.
Hey,
I call her Captain Amari because the name Amari is too soft and forgettable for a tank.
That looks like some retro sci-fi type crap, right? I wouldn't say it looks like $40K, but I'd say just the helmet alone. But This looks amazing.
So the word captain has some good consonants in it. It kind of helps make it sound a little more punchy. I imagine her being like a 7-foot tall super soldier from Africa. Kind of like if there was like a new Carthage empire and she's like a peacekeeper. Here's kind of what a render would look like. I do like.
I'm a fan. Like, look, people, you have completely random artists online that are doing the jobs of like the artists and like AAA companies. And now, obviously, the artists don't really have a say in their art. Like, that all comes from the middle management. You know, the people who claim, like, they have absolutely they know nothing about doing art, but they know what their gender studies or what their consultants, and they know what they would say, and they have to justify their paycheck. But then you have complete randos that will do this shit for free and do a better job, and this is what people are figuring the fuck out, right? It's like you have no reason, like you're a multi-billion-dollar company, you have no reason to make whatever, whatever this is supposed to be. Like, you have no reason, like, you know this isn't appealing, you know this looks ugly, right? And I don't know what moral crusade you're on, but they knew people wouldn't be appealed to that, but people are absolutely appealed to this, right? This is appealing.
So to show her femininity, I kept the lipstick, but I changed the shade and something a little less ridiculous, and I gave her like a lacy bra, so you see the juxtaposition there. Here's the before.
And again, you don't need a practical reason for why you choose this over this. It's fantasy. I mean, like, okay, oh, this doesn't protect anything, so fucking what? It's a hero shooter. It doesn't exist, right? And again, people are willing to suspend their disbelief on, and I use these 3 criteria all the time. If it's cool, if it's sexy, or if it's funny, right? People are willing to suspend that disbelief. What is this? Because this is sexy and cool, but I mean, she's funny looking, you know, but
before and after. And as you can see, I moved away from the big bulky armor and went with more of like power enhancement arms and legs. Like maybe her skin's kind of partially bulletproof since she's like an experimental super soldier. But last but certainly not least is Daw. He looks like if Ned from Spider-Man went on a ski trip to Gay Mountain. They gave my guy a girl face, like they gave him girl face proportions and like the craziest fupa I've ever seen. He's visually grotesque. You know, as a brown guy, this is very upsetting. You know, that we now are in a climate where, you know, you can't have a prominent character that's Latin or black or Asian, and, you know, you think you're going to get some cool designs, but, you know, they always throw in all this weird shit on top of it, and it's a real bummer. So here's my concept. First, the name Daw is just so boring and forgettable, so mine is named.
This looked like the guy you'd see in fucking high school, right? You know, the guy that you think they're doing some shading dealings in the bathroom, right? But yeah,
Named like Mr. D, which sounds kind of like a cholo name. Like he'd be all, "Hey, check that out! My name is Mr. D, fool." You know, something like that. You know, maybe he's a little bit chunky. He eats his tortas, he eats his tortillas. You know, he's kind of a little bit heavy, not super fat or anything. I mean, I don't know how you would move around if you're that fat. I mean, all you got to do to. I don't know how
you male character. You think I'd play this? But yeah, I mean, from the design alone, this looks objectively better, right? And I don't know. They do this thing where they're trying to make characters gender ambiguous, like they do everything in their power, you know, to make it, well, it's like you just do not know their gender, and it's like, why? I mean, who are you trying to appeal to? I mean, And you're like, oh, but why do you care? Well, I care because they care. You know, the type of people that will defend this, the type of people that green light this, like they care. So now I care. You know? Because I wouldn't, like, I just want a good game. Like, if this game had these types of characters, right? You know, people would play them.
In the original design, he has like a big, weird-looking healing pack. It's like a big pizza. So I replace it with a first aid box connected to a big boom box. Maybe he can like play it for psychological warfare. Maybe he's really good at taunting people. Or if he can like leave the boombox somewhere to like trick people into thinking you're in a different spot on the map or something. And as you can tell from the before and after, mine is way cooler. I did this to demonstrate that you can make cool, diverse characters without making them lame or gay. I mean, you could just look at Deadlock.
No, but see, like, you don't understand why they're doing this. They're doing this because they're trying to gamify diversity. It's like, okay, how many check boxes can you check with this character to get a high diversity score? Okay, he's fat, he's Latino, gender ambiguous, right? You know, non-masculine. Well, that's 3 check boxes right there, or 4 right there. Like, this is what they're doing. Like, this is how the consultants in these companies think, right? And you see that gamers don't think this way. Gamers are like, I would absolutely go for a character like this. Like, I'm a fat fuck, right? I don't want to fucking play this. I'd play, well, I wouldn't play either of these because they're male characters, but if you were to tie me to a fucking chair, I'd play this objectively. I'd be like, no, I'm playing this.
Gay. I mean, you could just look at Deadlock, which is another hero.
Yeah, and the sexuality and the pronouns is all just, again, things that add nothing to the gaming experience, right? They add them in anyway, as if I fucking care. Look, like, if the character looked like this and was gay, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of hot. It looked like this, it's like, cool. And you see that because it's a crappy product, people are now nitpicking, because people nitpick anything, but if the product's worse and garbage, they'll nitpick. Do you see that people will nitpick the fuck out of it?
Big shit talker and like maybe he's like a smuggler. In the original design, you can make cool, diverse characters without making them lame or gay. I mean, you could just look at Deadlock, which is another hero shooter that has a lot of diversity, and those designs are great. I mean, it's kind of crazy to do mediocre designs for a hero shooter. I mean, this follows the same principles of fighting game. The characters have to be appealing on first glance.
Yeah, and they know this. But they like, no, we're trying to gamify diversity. We're trying to relegate any artistic design to check boxes, right? And, you know, they know they can make better characters. I mean, I guess making characters this bad, right? You know, making characters this bad takes less effort, and you can pretty much just drag someone off of Twitter that thinks the way you do. But this takes effort. You know, it takes people that know how to draw. Probably, I'd say this takes like a good 3 or 4 years, maybe even less, right? Because we have the technology now. Like maybe back in Wrath of the Lich King or Burning Crusade, this would take a couple years, but the technology's there, right? And I'm pretty sure he took the concept of this and he had to do a complete fucking overhaul for this video of that character, right? But yeah, they know that what it takes to make characters appealing, but they choose not to. They choose not to do it because their ideology demands they don't.
It's a fighting game. The characters have to be appealing on first glance. I mean, what kind of people are they hiring to do these designs? I mean, I'm not even a professional artist. I work in like finance and tech. But, you know, hey, if they need someone to consult on, you know, whether a game is lame or not, they can reach out to me.
No, well, they do the consulting, but not to make characters better, it's to make them worse. For some reason, upper management of companies that just want to push art out like it's mass produce it, hire these types of individuals, and they're like, okay, yeah, and they're told the lie that if you do this, like your company is evil, you're evil. No, nobody's into this, right? You know, like so that they don't that this is bad, and what you see before what the characters actually are is good. Like people want that, so they believe, and for some reason they just believe the lie because you have, you know, Ubisoft that, you know, their upper management is going to make money. Period. Right? They don't care if the product's good or bad. You know, and if you have things like ESG, if you have things like government grants, right? I mean, you make money regardless. So, and so the point isn't to make the best product, it's to make a product. And the consumer will always lose in this situation.
But you know, I enjoyed doing this. I intend to do the whole cast if I get a lot of views. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you would like to see more of these, and you know, or if you have any suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good video. I mean, you know, definitely give them a watch. You know, the whole 30 people, 20 people that are still subscribed. But, you know, that's all I got to say about this. Peace.